We'll get started talking here in just a minute. As soon as we get some folks joining, we'll get going. So I gotta sign into my computer here so we can show you some weather graphics. We do got some severe weather out there tonight, but for most of us, it is not impacting us. Most of it's here. Most of it's kind of over there in kind of western Oklahoma and back in the Texas Panhandle. Hey, what's up, LM? So overall, it's not any. What's up, Amber? So overall, it's not like anything super bad, but there are some pretty good storms out there, and I'm gonna show them to you here in just a minute. I'm getting my computer logged into now, so we could talk about a couple things. Number one, we're going to talk about the thunderstorms that are out there tonight, and then number two, we're going to talk about storms that will be impacting us tomorrow. Pretty good bet for storms tomorrow here, but again, they're probably going to be more of like the wind kind of variety kind of storms, wind and kind of hail, that kind of thing here. So lower end severe weather type stuff. So if we start here, first thing we're looking at is this severe thunderstorm watch that covers southwestern parts of Oklahoma here and far northwestern parts of Texas. So that's what we're looking at. If we take a look at the radar itself, there's some severe thunderstorm warnings up there. But notice how they're kind of up here in southwest Oklahoma. They're northwest of Altus. These are probably producing some small hail, and I've been looking at. They probably got some decent wind gusts in them, I would think. But you can look at the winds here out of the storms, and there's a couple things I see on the radar here, and there's probably some pretty good wind gusts up there north of Mangum, and then you see this little line of green here. Let me illustrate that for you there. This little line, this is an outflow boundary. That's rain-cooled thunderstorm air produced by these storms up here. That little outflow boundary is going to be kind of moving right there along Highway 62. Now, a lot of times those outflow boundaries can initiate other thunderstorms, but I'm not seeing much of anything else breaking out, at least up here in Oklahoma. And I got to rule out something isolated, but nothing appears to be major, imminent at this time here. Then you can kind of go well west northwest of Oklahoma City, and there's some some pretty good thunderstorms there. They're producing some really heavy rainfall across western and northwestern parts of Oklahoma, well northwest of Oklahoma City. At least for now, these storms are going to stay west of Oklahoma City. I don't know that they'll impact Oklahoma City. We'll talk more about that in a moment. But those are just heavy rain producers, some wind and some hail. Then you jump down into northwest Texas, and there's just not anything going on. So even though Vernon and Quanah is in a severe thunderstorm watch, I do not anticipate severe weather there this evening here. Then we go back into Lubbock, and there are some scattered thunderstorms. We got a disturbance kicking out of New Mexico tonight, and there are some scattered thunderstorms over this way. And they're gonna make a run at northwest Texas, but I don't think they're gonna. I think they're gonna fade and die out before they get here. There's some of the weather information tonight, which in this type of a weather pattern, a lot of times our weather information doesn't handle the situation very well, but it tries to develop a line of storms kind of moving down through here overnight tonight and then kind of dying out over in here, which I don't know that scenario is going to play out. So I'm going to say probably not. But again, these are storms. Yes, sir. What did it say? I'm out tomorrow, so those are you guys. Okay. I'll take a look at it. I'll take a look at it. All right. So, but again, we're looking at these storms up here moving through, and that's basically what we're seeing now. But if we take a look at the rest of the Lone Star State, not a whole lot going on tonight. It's mostly there. So this disturbance that's back here, kind of back in here, it's weakening, but it's moving to the east here. And tomorrow, there'll actually be a front kind of down into this area here. And that's going to probably be your main focus for storms, that and any leftover outflow boundaries from these thunderstorms out here tonight. So we can stop this now. And we can take a look at some weather data here. Now, I'm going to show you the HRRR computer model. You know me, I like that one. That's my favorite one. Well, first of all, I'll just kind of show you what I've got here. I need to post this stuff. I need to post this on the internet, or post this on my Facebook page, rather. Give me a second. I'm trying to gather up my information here, y'all. Well, we'll just show the regional one. That's fine. All right, so here's what I got drawn for tomorrow. I want to check this out. Here's what I got drawn for tomorrow. All right, so there's your front. And in that area, there's going to be some thunderstorms that are going to pop up. So there's two areas we'll watch. Number one, we'll watch for storms developing along the front here in the late afternoon and early evening hours. And then there's going to be some leftover outflow boundaries somewhere over in here, probably. And there'll probably be some storms that develop by early to mid-afternoon, kind of over into this area here. Then you'll have your line will come in from the northwest during the night or during the evening here. Main concern with these thunderstorms tomorrow, again, like I say, and kind of lower end severe weather stuff would be some hail and some gusty winds. And something that gets, kind of disregarded and doesn't get talked about enough is lightning strikes. There are no like lightning warnings. That's not one of the criteria that's used for forecasting severe weather here. Like if you're going to issue a severe thunderstorm warning, you don't base it upon lightning strikes. I do think that the Weather Service will issue what's called a special weather statement, and it'll talk about that in those. But most of the time, you don't get like alerts and stuff for those. You can get them, but most of the time you don't. But this time of year, these storms, it's hot, it's humid outside, and they can pop up and produce a lot of cloud to ground lightning strikes. And we have a lot of outdoor activities that take place. In fact, tomorrow morning, I'm going to be up in Duncan for a golf tournament up there. At the Territory. Supposedly some type of a pro-am tournament, but I'm going to be up there with Chris and my son Hayes, and we're going to go up there, and I'll be there only in the morning. I'll be back by the early afternoon. I'm working tomorrow, so I'm not going to miss anything. But this time of year, you do get a lot of outdoor activities. You got people that are you're working outside. You got people that are, doing hobbies outside, whatever it might be, and lightning strikes can come up. And those lightning strikes, again, cloud ground lightning strikes, and they can hit you. They can cause. I think it's the second leading weather-related killer in the world. I don't know. I know flooding is one, but I think that lightning strikes might be number two. I can't remember. But anyway, if you're close enough to hear thunder, that the rule of thumb is if you're close enough to hear thunder, you're close enough to be struck by lightning. Get inside until the storm passes. That's the best, that's the advice that's given. Now, I know most people don't do that, but that's just what I'm trying to say. So this is the future radar here. And this is, that's what I'm saying. These computer, these are called convective allowing models. And they really haven't done and they're not going to handle the weather situation very good this time of the year, because you're not dealing with significant storm systems. You're not dealing with these big storm systems coming out, and the models handle that so much better than these weak of small scale weather patterns here, where you're relying upon boundaries and fronts and that kind of thing to get your storms going. Because see, we just saw radar. We got more active storms down in here, and the radar is not even showing that right now. This model isn't. So if we put this in motion, those storms, at least according to this, kind of lift up north of Oklahoma City. Probably not much in its wake, but there is this little line I was talking about earlier. There it is right in there. I don't know, there may be something to that, but that would show storms. Shoot. Let me get out of that for a second. It went by way too fast here. Let me make a pause point in there. This would show storms here by morning, which I can't rule. I'm not ruling that out at all, but I just don't know, how that's going to come about, because this is the first time that any model has shown storms in the morning here. So there's the part of it. Let me hit play again. Sorry, so you guys can see it. So it is in a small screen here. So there is your thunderstorm area in the morning, showing these storms that are, kind of roughly, kind of a little bit of a line. Then it shows them trying to move. This would probably be an outflow boundary producing some storms here. I'm just trying to guess what the model is showing. I don't know that that's going to actually happen, but this has quite a few storms gobbling up all the instability and moisture in the atmosphere down there. And then we get into the afternoon, and you probably got some boundaries left over. And see, this particular computer model doesn't develop storms, really a few, but not many. It's mostly along the front and a little bit kind of over into here. So, but there's your line moving through tomorrow night. So in this line, you'll probably see some strong wind gusts and maybe some downpours and some smaller hail. But my thoughts are, if we do get storms along that outflow boundary earlier on, they may have a better chance to be more significant in terms of severe weather here. So that's kind of what I'm thinking with that. I don't know that we'll get that, but if we do, that would be your main concern there. So all right, so time now for questions. And also, I will say that we're going to have more storm chances off and on throughout the week. We get a break on Wednesday. I don't think we see much Wednesday, but Thursday, let's like, and a lot of this activity is probably going to be at night. This is what we call MCS season. That's what June brings about. Again, our weather models are not going to handle the storm areas very well, but it's MCS, mesoconvective system. Storms develop, but first out west on the higher terrain of the Rockies there, or sometimes out west along the dry line out there in West Texas. And then they kind of clump. They start off as supercells and they clump up as a big line of thunderstorms, and then they move down our way at night and in the morning. That's one of the reasons why June is one of our wettest months of the year, is because we usually get those early to mid June, and a lot of times you can get them on an almost nightly basis here. So we may not see much of that on Wednesday, but Thursday, Friday, and then probably into the weekend, maybe even early next week, we should see at least several of those systems pushing on through. So rainfall amounts do add up, and some parts of the region could get really hammered with a lot of heavy rain with all of this. I don't know that everybody will get that, but there will be some. So, all right, so let's answer some questions. This is from Shala and Danielle Algier. I know I said that wrong. I'm sorry. We will be out of town on Wednesday night. I'd be worried to leave the house. Out of town on Wednesday night. No, I mean, I don't know where you're going to be, but I don't think you should be worried to leave the house. Just be safe. We are under flow watch tonight through Wednesday in Jefferson County. Probably because of the storms coming in, and there could be some flooding. It just depends on how many storms we see. And Jim, we're not going to see rain. I don't think you're going to see much rain there tonight, but it really just depends on how many storms you wind up seeing. And in these situations, I mean, you either get it or you don't. There's a lot of times these MCSs come through, and some areas get nailed, and some areas don't see anything at all. So I mean, we have to just kind of wait and see how it all plays out. So nothing severe tonight, Lauren. Brendan, a good evening to you too, sir. Thanks for Eric Prodmore. We always have some interesting things to say there. Let's see here. Lacey, let's see, this is a Misty Breeding. I'm just saying here. You're welcome, Veronica. Right now is the time to ask a question, though, if you have it here. I'm going to be getting dressed for the newscast here in a few minutes, but if you got a question for me, I'll do the best I can. No, you don't need to worry about burning Texas, Audrey. I swear, Audrey is that girl is scared to death of weather. Every time that thunder claps, you've got to believe she's going to mess with me. I'm just picking at you. I'm not really being serious here, but the good news is, Audrey, this time of year, usually when we hear the thunderstorms and whatnot, they usually don't produce tornadoes. Brittany, no, I'm not. No tornadoes tonight for sure. Maybe a little bit around that tomorrow. So, and again, tornado potential is basically zero. Tomorrow, I mean, I wouldn't go zero tomorrow along any of those boundaries if you get a supercell, but the chances of that happening are really, really low. So these are some new names on here tonight. Lauren's new. I've never seen Lauren ask me a question. I don't think I recognize Brittany Strickland here. Duncan, I don't think you'll see much in the way of storms tonight, but there could be some around tomorrow afternoon. Just keep an eye on that. So, and Shayla and Danielle, I don't recognize her either, so that's a new one. So you're welcome, Brittany, and you guys can ask me questions anytime. I usually do these every night around 9:30. Sometimes I just ramble on about nothing. So the normal people that come on here, and they can tell you that I ramble on a whole lot. Jessica, Richie, chat. See, this is new people. I'm glad we got some new folks on here tonight. That's awesome here. You do? Oh, maybe I do recognize you, Brittany. I'm sorry. Man, my brain as I get older, I just start forgetting things. So Jessica, Chaddock, hell chances probably be a little bit with some of that. This time of year, you're going to get a little hell. So now I don't recognize Jessica here. So that's a new one. I do recognize Mary. Yeah, Brittany, I do remember you now. So I do remember you. So, but remember, I'm here to help ease your mind and to help eliminate storm anxiety. I got this one girl that messages me she'll even message me on my personal page, and she'll ask me, hey, I'm in Vernon, don't need to worry about anything. And again, my answer to that, if I see it in time, I'm going to tell you no, or yeah, or something like that. So I don't think I've ever had to tell her she had to worry about anything. So I never mind it. I tune in sometimes, but new to chat. Well, I mean, it's again, I call it primetime weather when I don't have weather to talk about. I used to call it weather after dark, but my general manager didn't like that. So we went to I changed it to primetime weather. And a lot of times Cameron Lindsay, well, sometimes on Fridays he'll join me sometimes. We have a lot of fun talking about whatever. But but yeah, I mean, it's a lot of times I just shoot the bull and just talk, answer questions, and we just talk about whatever. A lot of times it's even weather related. So Karina Ramirez, traveling to Dallas tomorrow from Wichita Falls at 5 a.m. with it. You know, there might be something isolated around. I don't think it'll be too bad though, Karina, but it could be something isolated. I think you'll be fine. So just, you know, just if you encounter a downpour, just turn your windshield wipers on and just be careful. Patsy, if I put my trash can out in the morning, will it be okay until late afternoon, not blown down the street? I don't know. There could be some thunderstorms around during the afternoon, so it could get blown. Veronica, in which month have you seen the earliest thunderstorm in Wichita Falls? What do you mean? But and which month? I mean, we have thunderstorm. Every month we have thunderstorms at every time of the day. There's really not a. I don't know how to answer that question. What time tomorrow are we looking at? Mostly afternoon and the evening. So I mean, there'll be some places that won't even see a storm during the afternoon. It might be more tomorrow evening than tomorrow afternoon here. So, thank you, Carrie. That's what I aim to do. What time? Let's see here. How gnarly we thinking tomorrow, Ken? Well, Ty, again, as I was talking about earlier, just kind of some downpours and some hail and maybe some gusty winds. It just really depends upon if it's our storm mode. If we wind up seeing mostly a line of thunderstorms tomorrow evening, just some gusty winds, downpours. If there's a lot of storms around in the morning, it's going to gobble up the instability, and there may not be much around in the afternoon itself. But I mean, if we if it just depends on how everything comes together. If we wind up getting up, some supercells along the outflow boundary, something it could be a little more intense. But overall, I think this is going to be a lower end severe weather event for us. MBMB, storm anxiety was an all-time high with being recently postpartum, and that's when I found your page. Best time spent on Facebook thus far. Well, MB, man bump. Yes, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Again, there's so many folks and there's just so many bad meteorologists on social media. I never realized how many bad meteorologists and just weather enthusiasts are out there. A lot of them are really bad. They unnecessarily hype things. So, LM, when you've had this much rain, like we have this spring, it's going to be humid, like super humid, probably for most of this month and probably into next month too. We probably won't see a let up in humidity until maybe the middle or latter half of July, probably. I am learning that I am obsessed with weather events, but I don't know anything about storm formations and such. Would you teach a class locally for us who watch chasers for fun? Maybe I will do that at some point, Baylor. That's a good idea. I might do something like that. That might be kind of fun to do. I would have to have a good response, though. I wouldn't want to do it for just 2 or 3 people. I've got too much going on. It'd have to be a lot of people that would show interest in something like that. And I think they would. It might be something we could just do like here on Facebook Live. I don't have to do it like in a meeting place. We could just do it like here on Facebook Live, and that'd be kind of fun. So, is it typical for us to get thunderstorms every month in Wichita Falls? Yes, we do get thunderstorms in every single month here in Wichita Falls. But we get more storm activity in the spring and early summer than any other time of the year. But you're going to get less, obviously, in the winter. But I've seen it be 8 degrees outside and thunderstorms here. So it happens. I first found max velocity in G's. I unsubscribed once I saw your page. Well, I think he recently graduated college. I think he's actually a meteorologist now. But, basically he looks like a kid going through puberty, trying to give you weather information is what he looks like to me. But, I've watched his stuff and, the kid's not bad. He's not bad at all. Actually, he actually does. Seems like he knows his weather stuff. All right. But again, when you're on social media, the algorithms like the loud people who speak the loudest, and they're going to speak really loud. And again, a lot of it's just really bad forecasting too. And it's not just the YouTubers. There's some TV meteorologists that are really bad forecasters too. I'm not saying that's here in Wichita Falls. I'm just saying in general. They'll be in big markets like Dallas and they'll be just awful. And I'm like, how in the world did this person get there? All right. I have got to go. I know you do, Timothy. Blizzards in May. I don't envy you at all. So, all right, I got to get ready.